Hi, how are you?
Good, and yourself?
I'm well, thank you for asking. So I'm glad that you came back. I know we met last week, and this is now our second session. So I want to just take the minute, before we jump right in, to just go over a couple things that we talked about last week, and then we'll move over to the lesson that I have planned for us today, because I do have a lesson planned today, and it's just my lesson will be revolving around techniques where I can teach you to be more aware and be more mindful in stressful situations or in situations where you don't have very much control. So let's just do a little recap. What did we talk about last week?
We talked about how my grades weren't what they were supposed to be, and then we talked about the issues around why my grades were low.
Perfect. Do you remember the piece about the counseling portion, like about confidentiality?
Yes, how everything is going to be kept between us unless I'm harming myself or another person.
Or someone's harming
Or
you?
someone's harming me, yeah.
Correct. Perfect. So I just wanted to go over that just to make sure we're both on the same page. Um, I know we just got back from the weekend, so I just want to talk about what happened this past weekend. If you want to tell me a little bit, like, were your parents fighting? Did you get your homework done? Give me a little bit of what happened.
So after we talked, I started doing my homework a little bit. I tried. I was in my room, but again, they just keep arguing, so I can still hear them. I mean, I guess my walls are pretty thin, but yeah, it's just been constant. They just don't seem happy lately.
Last time you mentioned that you were thinking about talking to them. Did you go ahead and attempt it, or did you not try that?
I was going to, but it just didn't really feel like the right time. I mean, it never really does feel like the right time.
Okay. So I want you to think back about the first session, and I was really trying to make sure that you understood that none of what's going on is your fault, and it's out of your control. And we really need to focus and ground ourselves on the present and things that you do have in control. Um, so before we move forward to the lesson, I want to make sure you're safe. It hasn't turned into anything violent or anything like that.
Not involving me now.
When you say not involving you, like, is it violent between your parents and you're just not getting hurt? Like, are you in a?
I mean, yeah, it gets pretty not physical. Like they don't hit each other, but my mom will sometimes throw things, or my dad, vice versa.
Do you feel safe at home?
Yeah, I still feel safe, but they don't do it around me. But I can just hear them because when I come in the room, they act like everything's okay, but you can still feel the tension.
Okay. All right. So as long as you're safe and everything is going okay, I mentioned today that we're going to be working on mindfulness. Have you heard of the word mindfulness before?
A little bit.
So what being mindful is, it's just being aware of your surroundings, being aware of the things that are happening to you outside of your body and inside of your body. And there's a lot of research out there that shows that being mindful actually helps you both academically, social, emotionally. It's good for your well-being. And one thing to remember is being mindful. What we're going to talk about is going to sound like it's meditation, and it's not meditation. So we're going to do an exercise. The first one's going to be a breathing technique. I know it sounds kind of funny or kind of like, oh, we're going to sit here and breathe.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason that I want to talk about these things is because when you do find yourself in one of those stressful situations, I really want you to ground yourself and bring you back into the present and focus at what you can at hand. Focus on what you do have control over and try to build on that. So I'm going to give you a scenario. You are in your room, your parents are arguing outside, they're screaming, they're throwing things, and you're just finding in this very stressful situation. If you would, I would like you to close your eyes with me, and we're just gonna practice breathing. So when you are in this stressful situation, I really want you to just take a deep breath. So let's take one deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth, keeping focus on my voice. And I really want you to focus on your breathing right now. So let's take another deep breath. But for this deep breath, I really want you to feel the air filling your lungs and you breathing in slowly. So go ahead and breathe in, take a nice deep breath. And then as you let it out, feel the air, feel the oxygen being released from your nose, and just feel your shoulders rest. You're in this very stressful position, and I want you to just sit up straight, rest your shoulders. I really want you to focus on your breathing. Keep focusing on your breathing, and only focus on that. Focus on how good it feels to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Think about it like this. When you're taking a deep breath, go ahead and take in all the good that you can. Take in a deep, deep breath. Fill in your lungs as much good as you can, and then let out the bad. Think about all the bad that's going on and just blow it all out of your body. It's no longer affecting you. Go ahead and open your eyes. How did that feel?
It felt actually really good. I felt a little less tense after the whole breathing technique.
So that's good. So part of the mindfulness is focusing on everything that's happening in your body. So what we just did was we were just trying to focus on one of the most important things that we do with our body, and that's breathe. How many times do you sit back and think about breathing?
Not often, trying to just do it.
Right. So did you know that we're always continuously breathing? But we do it so often that we forget about it, as if it's not something important or it's not something that's happening all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that will actually help us when we're in those stressful situations. And that's something that we can control. And it's something that's happening in the present. So we really want to focus on that present moment, which is why during the technique, I was having you feel it and think about like the actual breathing. Because breathing is so important. If you do it correctly, enough oxygen goes into your lungs and it gets spread out throughout your entire body. And it actually feeds your body.
Mm-hmm.
But how you said, it happens so often that we don't pay attention. And I don't want you to feel like that when you're in those stressful situations at home where your parents are arguing, because I don't want you to have the same thought. Just because it happens often doesn't mean that it's okay, or doesn't mean that you're in the best situation, and you have to be aware of that. Do you have any questions about the mindfulness or any other feedback you'd like to say about it?
Is there any other techniques?
Yeah, so we'll work on another one. But anything else you want to add?
Do you ever do that technique when you're in a stressful situation?
Good question. So yeah, I like to practice that.
Bless you.
Thank you. I like to practice that technique. I'll go into like a nice dark room and I'll just really focus on my breathing and try to just ground myself. Another really funny kind of activity that I like to do to practice mindfulness is I like to do the Superman pose. Are you familiar with that?
A little bit.
So there's also research done that you will do better in tests or like presenting if you do the Superman pose before you do those events. So you stand up and you stand at attention.
Would you like to show me?
Sure, I'll show you. Basically, the Superman pose is standing like this. You stand in the room before you gave a presentation or before doing a test, and research shows that you actually feel better. I know it's funny, but it supposedly helps. For this next technique, I'm going to ask you to stand up. So let's go ahead and stand up. Same thing, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, and we're just going to focus on my voice, okay? So close your eyes. So for this mindful technique, we really want you to be aware whenever your body is stressed, it goes into this stress position. It's our body has these fight and flight responses. So whenever our body is stressed, it triggers those responses, meaning that your body is ready. It is ready to either run and protect. It's either ready to run, or it's ready to protect itself. And your body tenses up. You release all of this energy, and your body is ready, right? Mm-hmm. So for this exercise, it's a guided, and I'm going to guide you through all the different parts of your body. So just focus on my voice. I really want you to think about. I want you to focus on your feet, on your toes. They're standing you up right now, and really just focus all of your energy on the palms of your feet. Right now, can you feel all of that weight on your feet?
Yes.
I just want you to focus on that. So focus on that. This is a constant thing. This is how much weight you're carrying every day. Then I want you to move up. So from the palms of your feet, move up to your legs, and just feel the difference within your body. Everything that your body is currently doing. Right now in this present moment, your body is doing a lot. There's blood rushing through it. There's blood rushing to your heart. Your body is literally working, and we tend to forget that. And then I want you to bring it up and just feel it in the tips of your fingers. And you can even close your fists if you want, but just feel your body working, and it's tense, and just relax. Right now you may have your shoulders a little bit higher. I want you to drop them and just feel your body relax. You're not in a stressful situation. You don't need to have a fight and flight response. I want you to start feeling, maybe your head is getting a little bit lighter. You're feeling a little bit more comfortable. Now we're at your neck, and you can feel your neck and your shoulders being more relaxed. There's still blood rushing. There's still all of these other things, cells, everything is working, and you are being mindful and being in the present. And throughout this exercise, one thing did not change. You're still thinking about the weight on the palms of your feet. You're still thinking about the blood rushing through your body. Your fingertips, from your toes to your fingertips, all the way up to the top of your head. Your shoulders are relaxed. You're relaxed. You can open your eyes. Merci. So let's talk about that. How was that exercise?
It was actually very relaxing. I never really focused on a single part of my body like that.
Yeah, so the goal of that exercise, again, it's not meditation, but it's just focusing on the present, everything that is happening. Like you are doing so much right now. And it's not just you, it's your body, and you're not even realizing all that. And sometimes it's when we're in these stressful situations, it's just thinking about, okay, like, that's out of my control, but I can focus on this, on me, like I am still doing all of this. And for this session, my biggest takeaway and the goal would be that you're able to practice these techniques when you do find yourself in these stressful situations. I'm not saying that these situations are going to fix themselves and they're not going to make anything better, but I'm hoping it can help you relax. Do you have any feedback about that? Things that you like, things that you didn't like?
I pretty much liked the exercise. It was actually the first time I've ever done something like that, and it kind of did. I know it wasn't really meditation, but it's kind of similar to meditation. I feel like.
Yeah, it gives you the same vibe. What are some things you didn't like? Do you think it's something that you can practice when you're in a stressful situation?
Probably, yeah, but I like the breathing technique more.
The breathing technique?
Yeah, I feel like I would do the breathing technique more, just because it's like less time consuming, and I feel like if I was in a stressful situation, I would kind of have to like get away from everyone to do the whole
like focus
to
and
do
grounding.
the whole focus and everything.
Okay, that's good, and that's why we have these sessions, because we're able to talk about it and try to, figure out what the best plan of action is. For our next session, we can discuss some different breathing techniques. I really want you to try it at home. I know you said things were getting better, but how was your assignments this past weekend? Were you able to get through them all?
Yeah, I did some of them, or the ones that I could. I'm just a little behind because I haven't been able really to focus in my classes. But I think I'm just going to talk to my teachers about it.
Good job. That was going to be my next thing. I was going to ask you, have you attempted to talk to your teachers yet, or made that connection? I know last time we touched on that lightly, that you should speak to your teachers. Mm-hmm. So this from now until we meet again, I definitely want you to go ahead and try to reach out to them and try to work out, let them know that you're working on these assignments, and let them know that you have this drive to make sure you pass all your classes, okay? Mm-hmm. Do you have any other questions or anything? Anything else you want to touch base on, or anything that happened before I send you back to class?
How do you think I should bring it up to my teachers of what's going on at home? Because I don't want to just blurt it out.
That's an excellent question. So the good thing is that you don't have to disclose everything to your instructors. I would suggest just letting them know that you may be having a tough time at home right now. You don't want to share. It's kind of what I think I would do. Let's bounce some ideas here. What do you think would be a good way to bring it up?
I feel like I would start off by acknowledging the fact that I haven't been doing some assignments, and then probably asking if there was a way that I could make those up, and then explaining my situation, briefly.
That's perfect. I'm glad that you mentioned first that you have to acknowledge that you're not doing the assignments. That's called being held accountable. And in the counseling world, accountability is huge. And that's great. That's exactly where your mind went to, because that's the first step to making sure that we reach academic success. So good job on that. And then I think that's an excellent idea. That's great advice, and I feel like you should take your advice. Definitely sit down, acknowledge the fact that's what's going on, and then you don't have to tell them that your parents are fighting and all that. But you can just say that there are some issues at home that you're dealing with, and it's affecting your schoolwork. And then if you ever need help, or if you want me to be there with you talking to your teachers, I could be there to offer support. Okay? All right, well, if you have no more other questions, I think we can go ahead and I can send you back to class. We'll meet again next week, and things that I want you to look out for is try to practice some breathing techniques. If you can, I know it's more time consuming, try to do the grounding technique. Try to think about everything that your body is doing, and then try to remember how awesome our bodies are, and everything that you're doing. It's not just that one stressful situation. You're doing a lot of things, and you're getting through it. That's the thing, you're getting through it. And if you're ever in an unsafe situation, or if you ever feel that things are escalating, please do not hesitate to let me know. I want to make sure that you're safe, you're secure, and you have the support that you need in order to succeed. Okay?
Okay.
All right, Kai, it was really good to see you again. Thank you for stopping by.
No, thank you, Mr. Vasquez.
All right, have a nice day.